where I worked. No, sorry, not LDC. I worked in the corporate world with Uganda Tea Growers as the legal officer and then corporation secretary, and learned a lot also about agriculture and tea. I didn't engage so closely with the farmers, but more at managerial level. Thereafter, I moved to the Legal Aid Clinic of the Law Development Center. When I was sought out, actually, I sought out to apply, I was saying, no way, I'm not going back to LDC. Because all that happens in your mind is that I came from a torture center. You know how the LDC exams are, the pressure they put on you, the abuses from the lecturers. You're stupid. How can you write this? How can you say that? If you're in court, nobody is going to have sympathy for you. You know, at the beginning, we used to be so scared. And in the very first term, my mother asked me, do you eat? I said, I eat, but the food doesn't go down. It's about stays in between. So we lost so much weight. But then afterwards, we got used to it and we realized that all this grooming was just to make us better, stronger leaders in our own right. And that's what we came out to be. So in LDC, I had the opportunity of working there, I think 15 years and innovating very many programs, not only diversion, also reconciliation, but this was for adult offenders. And we worked with the Chief Justice's committee on these particular reconciliation guidelines, and I hope they are still being used. We also came up with the LDC court. It was from our time that we came up with the LDC court. And what was surprising, the Chief Justice at the time, Justice Odoki, was saying that, but no, students can't practice, they'll mishandle things, they'll be abusive in the way they handle clients and so on and so forth. And I told him, we're the only country in Africa that doesn't have a students' court. So he panicked. He said, okay, let's do this. So we got the students' court, we got the students' practice rules, and we started. And then thereafter, other African countries. The one country we had actually been looking at was South Africa. South Africa was one of the countries we actually thought had student practice rules and allowed their students to practice. But the Law Society stood in their way and said, no way, we won't have students taking our jobs. But that would be like a selfish notion, because students were doing these petty cases where there was very little money and nobody was really interested in those particular cases. And they do them with all their heart and all their energy and they give it their all because they thought, what difference can I make to this person? So that's how we kept on innovating around LDC and the ADR training manuals and police manuals. We did quite a lot, and also down to community level. So I think my time in LDC was well spent in speaking to my passion. Thereafter, I went to UNICEF, to USAID, and now I'm a criminal justice consultant. So everything that is criminal, especially in especially in respect to children, I'm there and I'm interested in it. In this particular program, I'm so, I think, blessed to hear that it's a fellowship. What does it mean to fellowship? When you talk about leadership and you're just talking about it being an institute, people think, oh, it's so formal, it's so structural. It's so structural. But when you refer to the word fellowship, it means, it's a meeting of minds. Minds are going to share. Minds are going to grow. And minds are going to change. But when it's just an institute or whatever, we paid and we've got whatever we can out of that institute and moved on. But this, I believe, and I thank you, Fiona, and your team, is going to be a life changer. As we embark on this journey of leadership training, we take pride in instilling the core values of faithfulness, availability, and teachability into our trainees. So I'm very proud that my mentee has reached these proportions of fame and credence. These values serve as the foundation upon which our fellows will build their leadership prowess, empowering them to lead with purpose and compassion. I know for most of you, it is so difficult. Every morning you wake up, you listen to the news, or you look through your social media, and everything is negative. Who has stolen what? Which government official has done that? And sometimes it's even more embarrassing when it's one, maybe even your relative, that has been involved in so many of these scandals. The war that has been declared, the war was being declared all over us. The rising prices hitting poverty everywhere. Whereas so you wonder, where do you fit into all this confused mess? You wonder, what type of leader will you be, and will you be part of them? But I'm so glad that this FLI will make you something different, and I'm praying that you actually hit their goals. I hope none of you let them down, especially my daughter. My answer to all this confusion that we always wake up to, the confusion that is around us, the poverty that is around us, is that we must lead from the heart. Most of these people lead from a point of greed, a point of want. But you see, when you are so wanting, you don't do justice either to yourself or to others around you. There are so many people having to go without a meal these days. So before we used to say with one meal, and people are below the poverty line. But now I think we are under the aggressive poverty line by the UN standards. People are living terrible lives. So apart from leading from your heart, you should lead with your conscience, lead to be remembered, and to leave a legacy. My favorite leaders are, of course, the one who I started with, the Lord Jesus Christ, who excelled in servant leadership to the extent of washing his apostles' feet. We are hoping that when you are able to call yourself a leader, because I believe we are leaders in every single space, from home to work to wherever you are, be a leader. You don't need a title. You don't need to be called manager so and so or CS so and so. Lead and be counted. The values that you take to a place are the ones that show your leadership capability. So that in that servant leadership in Matthew 20:25 to verse 25 to 28. My next favorite leader is Nelson Mandela, the icon of leadership in the whole of Africa. He bore so much just to ensure that his country would be free. So in his quest for leadership, he thinks a leadership should inspire and motivate people to work together for a common goal. So it's not about you, it's about others. So when we're going down this leadership journey, let's remember, it's not about me. It's about me becoming better for someone else, not me becoming better for me. Then Mahatma Gandhi, whose philosophy was non-violence, that has inspired civil rights leaders around the world. We need courage, we need resilience, and we need to make the right decisions through our quest for integrity. Let us be different. I was so glad that Fiona kept saying that even when we are different, let's not mind that other people don't like us. We're not making that much money, because these days people only want to talk in terms of the property they've acquired. But how hollow are they minus that property? And when you go 6 feet down, do you want them to talk about your property? Oh, Fiona had a property on this street and that street and that. They won't talk about that. They'll talk about how you touched lives and what you did for people. Recently, I lost my last uncle, and it was so shocking. He was such a simple guy, very, very simple. But you should have seen the number of people who came to bury him. It covered the whole village, and everybody wanted to speak. There were 10 priests. There were, I think, 7 nuns. It was extraordinary. And everybody said he was so simple, so loyal, and he loved his God. So those are the principles, really. You have to be simple, loyal, humble, and you have to love your God. Once you have that, you're on the right track. Africa, and I'm glad Fiona has also emphasized it, Africa is yearning for good leaders. Africa needs good leaders. She gave us a good breakdown about all those countries that were poor, even poorer than Uganda, but there they are now, they are shining stars. Why? Because they had good leaders with a vision. Uganda, and I think Fiona won't like that, is in a deficit of good leaders. Of good leaders. We have, I think, leaders, but they are not good. And they are not apologetic about not being good. All that we seem to be emphasizing is the amassing of wealth. And that, at the end of the day, ends up still being hollow. Because if it wasn't hollow, why do you keep on amassing more and more wealth? There should be a point you say, okay, after I have 7 more, I'm done, I'm good. No, but you're still grabbing, you're grabbing, and also infringing on the rights of those who are so poor, poorer than you are. I believe through this leadership program, you will stand out among the many, the thought leaders with a vision, who have a purpose and who are ready to soar each day. So when they see you, there's who, there's Michael, there's who, I want to be associated with them. Because when you're a good person and you lead through a proper value system, you just attract people. You saw how many people were attracted to Fiona just because of the fat leadership style. So we're believing that you too will be able to soar. Today's launch marks an important milestone for FLA, and I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to all its supporters, partners, and participants who have made this endeavor possible. Your belief in this mission has been the driving force. To our new cohort of fellows, I say embrace this opportunity with an open mind, a hungry heart for learning, and an unwavering commitment to make a positive impact. Remember that your leadership journey will be shaped not only by the skills you acquire, but by the values you uphold. So we want to know, inside and outside the fellowship, are you able to live those values, to uphold them so that people look up to you and they want to be what you are? We want you to be like a beehive. People are all trying to cling to you because they're wondering, what does she have? And what she has is what I want to be and what I need as well. Let us come together together as a community of ethical leaders, united by the pursuit of excellence and driven by the desire to bring positive change to the world around us. Together we can shape a brighter future for generations to come. Thank you, and may this launch be the beginning of an extraordinary journey for each and every one of you. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Wow, amazing, very amazing. You and I must agree. And she says, you will not only be recognized for the skills you acquire, but for the values you uphold. You might have all the skills, but if you have no values, those skills go to waste. And we must not let those skills go to waste. And here you'll acquire, you remember, you will be, in fact, you have the values. This is the funny truth. You have the values, you know the values, but you're not sure you're actually upholding them, right? But in this class, I assure you, that will be very clear for you. At this moment, I think we have almost come to the end of our program today, but allow me make a few announcements. Before the announcements, we are live on Smart24 TV as we speak, and you are our amazing partners. We appreciate you. We have made a questionnaire for the students. It is on our website, and it will also be shared on our WhatsApp group for this cohort. And so you visit that group and then get the questionnaire, because we want to know what your expectations are. Also, it's a Google form, okay? So it is going to be very easy for you. With the first class, well, this is most like the first class. So the second class, this is orientation, which they call acclimatization. So we're going to do. Okay, so I'm told we can follow that on how to find out more. Oh, okay. Is it possible? In the meantime, okay, fantastic.
Welcome to the Fidelis Leadership Institute Leadership Fellowship Training. We are happy to host you and have you as our student. Our website is a platform that keeps us live online, and we would like to give you some tips and bits as you will use our platform. To apply to our program, hit the first button on front page. To log into our training platform, hit the second button. Click the last home button to view our alumni past graduation. Welcome once again.
And blinking, step into the sun. There's more to see I can't see. Want to do, but can't be done. There is far too much to take here. Want to find I can't. But the sun going high to meet some fire sky. Keeps waiting for all the air that's loud. It's the sun. And it moves us so.
If I may say something about it, we're going to, first of all, one of the things we're interested in is shining the light on our stars. And this website is going to profile all our fellows from the past. We're going to keep tabs on them, and we're going to celebrate all their achievements. We are also featuring all our graduation books of the past cohorts and things that we've done. We're also profiling our people that have talked to us before. We have Fat Talks. Our Fat Talks, if you want to know the next Fat Talks, what's happening, you find it on the website. If you want to know who our new classmates are, the new cohort, we're going to profile you and put you there. And if you look at our graduation books, where we always demand that our people tell us what they want to be in future, so that we hold them accountable. So start thinking about it now. But this is going to be an active studying website, so please log in. Fat Fellows, you'll also log in and get your logins because we'll have programs that will be ongoing for the graduates and those that are here. We are also opening up a membership platform where you don't have to have been a fellow to be a member, because our membership will be in different categories. There's mentors, coaches, all sorts of people. And what we want to do again is have that powerful critical mass. We are also planning in the next year to launch in 2 African countries. So we shall slack, one in East Africa and one in Southern Africa. And we are hoping that this is just the beginning. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Fiona. A couple of announcements. Our first class will be next weekend, the 12th. same time, 9 a.m. No, 8:30 a.m. I beg your pardon, 8:30 a.m. to midday here, same space here. So please, you have paid your money, you have expectations. We expect you to arrive on time. Exactly. The first 5 students who and guess what? She is going to be the trainer that day. So you better make it on time. And because she will remember and she will remind you. Okay, so that's it. That is part of the announcements I have. And again, please join us every Thursday as we do the FAT Talks live on Smart24 TV, but also on our Twitter spaces. Guys, if you're not on Twitter, I don't know where you are. It's now X something. X.
For fun stocks that are previous, you can go to our YouTube
Yeah.
page. It's called Fat Talk, and you see the fun stocks section.
Absolutely. And with that, I think I call this launch, bring it to an end, but we have a photography session. So we're going to take photos. I'll ask Fiona to lead that with our guest of honor. Yes, we take photos and, of course, the new class, the new cohorts.
And then the rest of us can stand behind. Shiba, where are you? Is Shiba around? Yeah, where is Shiba? Yeah. Yeah, maybe here. No, let me cover that Maria, I know.
This model before the smell
Guys, we need people here. Then he's coming through. Where are you hiding? You have to come here. Okay. You can. Let me come here. She'll make us look good. Yeah. You know, I'm sorry to do this, but if it's not like a choir, it would be better. So can we, this line, let it be a line? Curve. So we need a choir. And the online church has killed us. It's like, you face this like this, first the name, let her be the name, then the place. Because I don't like that. I don't want to come this way. We have to look. Look at this one. So,